President Trump is vowing to buy a Tesla after the company's stock plunged. Critics blame CEO Elon Musk's focus on his White House role.
Tesla didn't just stumble in Germany, it got humiliated. After pouring $5 billion into a massive Berlin Gigafactory, Elon Musk thought he'd conquered Europe. Instead, Germans are walking away. Fast. Sales have crashed by 70%, and in a stunning poll of over 100,000 people, 94% said they wouldn't even consider a Tesla. What was meant to be a symbol of innovation is now a warning sign. Tesla built the factory, but forgot the culture. So why is Germany rejecting Tesla so fiercely? Why are electric vehicles booming everywhere else? And can Elon Musk stop this collapse before it goes global? EV boom, Tesla bust. In 2024, the German EV market grew by 27%. That's right, more Germans are buying electric cars than ever before. But Tesla, it's going in the opposite direction. The company's sales dropped a staggering 41% in the same period. And by early 2025, Tesla's decline accelerated even further. Sales plummeted by 70% in just the first 2 months of the year. That is not a minor slump. That is a full-blown collapse. And here's the kicker. This isn't a market slowdown. Germans are not rejecting electric cars, they're embracing them. They're just not buying Teslas. So what's happening here? Tesla's decline in Germany is the result of two compounding forces. First, a rapidly expanding menu of alternatives. Established German brands like Volkswagen, BMW, and Mercedes-Benz are rolling out EVs at a pace Tesla can't match. From the sleek BMW i4 to the affordable Volkswagen ID3, buyers now have local options that feel more premium, more practical, and more personalized. Second, Tesla's lineup is aging, and the market knows it. The Model Y, once hailed as a game changer, is now seen as a placeholder. Consumers know it's due for an update. Its interior, once minimalist and futuristic, now feels stripped and dated, compared to competitors' feature-rich cabins. German buyers want craftsmanship. Tesla offers efficiency. That trade-off is no longer attractive. It doesn't help that Elon Musk's controversial public persona has bled into brand perception. Buyers who once viewed Tesla as the future now see it as a lightning rod for political noise. The EV market in Germany is growing, but Tesla's share is shrinking fast. This is not just a sales issue, it's an identity crisis. Tesla is still manufacturing cars, but in Germany, it's no longer making believers. And that change in sentiment is becoming alarmingly quantifiable, thanks to a viral poll that set off alarm bells across the industry. But before we dive into that, take a moment to subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. The anti-Tesla tipping point. When the German news site T-Online published the results of a massive public survey, it sent shockwaves through the auto world. Over 100,000 Germans participated. The result? 94% of them said they would not buy a Tesla. This was the company that led the EV revolution, now facing near total rejection in Europe's biggest car market. The number spread like wildfire. Headlines followed. Investors panicked, and Tesla loyalists rushed to downplay it. To be fair, there were questions about the poll's reliability. After the results went public, analysts noticed a suspicious spike in votes from non-German IP addresses, many from the United States. T-Online eventually halted the poll, citing concerns about vote manipulation. But here's the important part. Even if the numbers were skewed, the message resonated. This wasn't just about a percentage. It was about perception. The poll became a megaphone for what many Germans were already feeling. Disillusionment, disinterest, disgust. Public sentiment is notoriously difficult to measure, but when that sentiment becomes viral, it creates real-world consequences. Potential buyers second-guess their choices. Existing owners feel social pressure. Influencers and reviewers shift tone. Even policymakers take notice. And the backlash wasn't just about cars. It was about what Tesla and Elon Musk had come to represent: flash over substance. Disruption over collaboration, American-style bravado in a European market that values restraint and integrity. And this growing rejection isn't just logical, it's emotional. Tesla has lost more than sales. It has lost resonance with an entire culture. Brand burnout in Germany. Once upon a time, owning a Tesla in Europe meant you were part of something exciting, a green future, a tech revolution, a global movement towards smarter transportation. But in Germany today, owning a Tesla feels like a cultural mismatch. The deeper problem isn't just the product, it's the persona. Elon Musk, once viewed as a bold inventor, is now perceived by many Germans as erratic, confrontational, and politically divisive. His flirtation with far-right political figures in Germany, including support for the controversial Alternative for Germany party, has triggered fierce backlash. In a country where historical memory runs deep, Musk's tone-deaf political engagements have real consequences. At the same time, German consumers are increasingly gravitating toward what experts are calling national brand preference. It's more than patriotism, it's trust. People trust Mercedes to build a safe car. They trust Volkswagen to offer reliability. Tesla, by contrast, feels distant and unaccountable. Its direct-to-consumer model, limited service infrastructure, and software-first philosophy feel cold in a market that prizes hands-on service and enduring quality. Tesla isn't just failing to connect with new customers, it's losing the loyalty of existing ones. People are trading in their Teslas, fleet managers are canceling contracts, dealerships are prioritizing German EVs, and online forums are full of posts from early adopters expressing disappointment, even embarrassment. This isn't a temporary dip, it's a fundamental disconnect. Germany was supposed to be Tesla's European crown jewel. Today, it looks more like the beginning of a continent-wide collapse. And if this is just the beginning, the next parts of this story will make everything you just heard feel like the calm before the storm. The Musk fallout. In Germany, Elon Musk isn't a genius. He's a liability. What was once perceived as charming eccentricity has transformed into an international public relations disaster. Musk, who built his global brand on innovation and disruption, is now actively alienating one of the most important electric vehicle markets in the world, Germany. And this time, the damage is not being done by technical missteps or production flaws. It's being caused by Musk himself. Germany has a long and deeply rooted political memory. It is a country where history looms large over the present, and where the far right has been watched, challenged, and pushed back against with vigilance. So when Musk appeared to voice support for the controversial far-right party Alternative für Deutschland, or AfD, it was not taken lightly. His online interactions and vague endorsements of figures aligned with that movement did not sit well with the German public. In fact, they ignited a cultural backlash. For many Germans, AfD is not just another political faction, it's a direct threat to democratic values. Musk's flirtation with far-right talking points, conspiracy theories, and online provocations placed Tesla in direct opposition to the values of many of its former customers. In a nation where the memory of extremism is carefully guarded, this sort of political engagement is not tolerated. It is rejected outright. Germans do not want their vehicles associated with political extremism, and Musk's brand, like it or not, is now inseparable from Tesla's. It would be easy to dismiss these reactions as overblown or culturally specific, but this goes deeper. Musk's tone deafness to European social norms is a key part of the issue. Whether mocking politicians, attacking institutions, or inserting himself into foreign debates, his global persona is at odds with what many Germans see as responsible leadership. In a market that prizes humility, collaboration, and stability, Musk's erratic behavior reads as arrogance and instability. And just when Germany needed steady leadership from Tesla, Musk's attention was nowhere to be found. Corporate ADH. Ever since Musk acquired Twitter, now rebranded as X, his attention has been split between running a social media platform and trying to keep Tesla competitive in an increasingly hostile market. But this isn't just a matter of juggling too many roles. It's a case of outright neglect. While competitors like Volkswagen, BMW, and Hyundai are launching new electric vehicles at record speed, Tesla is mired in delays, stuck with aging models, and losing market share. The result? Chaos inside the company. Software updates are missing their targets. Promised product launches, like the affordable Model 2 or the long-awaited Cybertruck, continue to be pushed back. Internal teams are demoralized, leadership turnover is increasing, and strategic planning has taken a backseat to Musk's personal brand management. For every day he spends online arguing about free speech or political correctness, Tesla loses another step in the race to lead the future of electric mobility. And the consequences are not just abstract. In Germany, where market confidence is built on consistency and professionalism, Musk's scattered focus looks like unseriousness. Consumers notice, investors notice, even competitors are taking advantage of Tesla's apparent paralysis. Musk promised vertical integration, revolutionary design, and bold transformation. But lately, all Tesla has delivered is disorganization and distraction. But the damage doesn't stop at management. It's now trickling down to Tesla owners themselves, many of whom no longer want to be seen driving one. When a car becomes a statement, what happens when driving a Tesla becomes a political statement? That's the uncomfortable question confronting thousands of owners across Germany and beyond. For years, a Tesla was more than just a car. It was a badge of progress, a personal investment in a cleaner, smarter, more sustainable future. But now, it's increasingly being seen as a mobile endorsement of Elon Musk himself, and that is a problem. Tesla's image has shifted from eco-icon to political flashpoint. Once beloved by progressives, the brand is now losing favor due to Elon Musk's alignment with right-wing politics and provocative behavior. Though the cars and tech remain the same, the meaning of Tesla has changed. Former supporters, especially in places like Germany, are selling their vehicles, not over performance, but over identity. What was once eccentricity now feels like extremism, driving loyal customers away from the brand. This isn't just anecdotal. Online forums are filled with former fans expressing regret. Influencers who once hyped the brand are distancing themselves. Politicians and public figures are trading in their Teslas for other EVs, some even going back to gas-powered vehicles, simply to avoid the association. And here's the scary part. This kind of brand shift is extremely hard to reverse. When a product becomes politicized, it stops being neutral. It stops being just a vehicle. It becomes a signal, one that many people no longer want to send. Tesla's market once spanned ideological lines. Now it's fragmented. Right-wing media figures are buying Teslas to own the libs, while left-wing customers are walking away out of protest. That's not brand diversity. That's brand collapse. Tesla didn't lose these customers because of a faulty product. It lost them because it allowed the product to become inseparable from its founder's politics. What was once a car of the future is now a rolling referendum on Musk. And an increasing number of Germans are voting no. But it's not just customers and the public who are pulling away. It's Tesla's own inner circle. The boardroom is bailing. Over the past year, Tesla insiders have sold off tens of millions of dollars in shares. Not just random employees, but high-ranking executives. Musk's own brother, Kimball Musk, offloaded millions. The company's chief financial officer cashed out. Longtime board members, some of whom helped build Tesla's early success, are exiting with large payouts. And they're not reinvesting. They're leaving. This kind of sell-off isn't normal, and it isn't meaningless. It's a red flag, one investors know how to read. When the people who have the most inside knowledge start pulling out, it's usually not because they believe the stock is going to the moon. It's because they don't trust the direction anymore. And it's not just individuals. Institutional investors, big funds, endowments, and mutual portfolios are shrinking their Tesla exposure. Some are calling the company too volatile. Others are citing concerns over governance, leadership, and public risk. The once unshakable investor confidence in Musk's vision is faltering. To outside observers, this exodus raises a disturbing possibility. What if Tesla's best days are behind it? What if the insiders believe the hype is gone, the growth is stalled, and the brand is damaged beyond repair? The truth is, people can argue about Tesla's tech. They can debate battery range, production targets, and software updates. But when the boardroom starts bailing out, it's no longer about speculation. It's about survival. And with leadership checking out, employees disengaging, and buyers fleeing, the future of Tesla is not just uncertain, it's unraveling. And that shift became even more devastating when Tesla lost its biggest European advantage: government support, the policy guillotine. Tesla's rapid growth in Europe was largely fueled by generous public subsidies. Government programs across the continent, especially in Germany, offered thousands of euros in incentives for buyers of electric vehicles. It was a win-win. Consumers saved money, EV adoption surged, and Tesla raked in sales. But that golden era is over. In late 2024, the German government began phasing out key subsidies for electric vehicles. The most generous incentives, some offering as much as 9,000 euros in total savings, were suddenly gone. And while the entire EV industry felt the impact, Tesla suffered the most. Why? Because its lineup was never truly designed for affordability. Tesla built its European business model on the assumption that subsidies would close the pricing gap. Without them, the difference between a Tesla Model 3 and a Volkswagen ID.3 becomes impossible to ignore. And for budget-conscious buyers, that difference is now a deal breaker. The Model Y and Model 3 remain Tesla's bread and butter in Europe, but they are priced at the edge of middle-class accessibility, even after the company's aggressive price cuts. Meanwhile, rivals like Renault and Hyundai are producing compact, urban-friendly EVs at significantly lower prices. They understood that in Europe, especially post-subsidy, affordability would be everything. Tesla, on the other hand, delayed its so-called Model 2, the affordable compact car promised for years, but still nowhere in sight. And it gets worse. In many parts of Europe, newer EV subsidies are now being redirected toward automakers who produce domestically, meet sustainability criteria, or support unionized labor. Tesla, with its anti-union stance and California-first attitude, suddenly finds itself outside that eligibility window. The result? Tesla is no longer competitive where it counts. Without subsidies, its cars are too expensive. Without a budget model, it can't capture the mass market. And without policy alignment, it's being cut out of the very incentives that once fueled its rise. Tesla's European strategy leaned heavily on public support. Now that support is gone and the foundation beneath the company is cracking, as Tesla struggles to stay affordable, European competitors are sprinting ahead and, in some cases, redefining what the electric car even is. Still watching but haven't subscribed yet? Take a second and hit that subscribe button. You can do it without even leaving the video. Click here. Europe's real innovators. A decade ago, Tesla was the symbol of disruption. It rewrote the rules of automotive technology, redefined what a car could be, and forced legacy automakers to rethink everything. But that era is over. Today, it is Tesla that is playing catch-up, and European automakers are leading the charge. Mercedes-Benz, for example, has quietly achieved something Tesla has yet to deliver: certified Level 3 autonomous driving. This means that, under certain conditions, a Mercedes can legally operate itself without driver supervision. Not only is this a technical milestone, it's a regulatory one. Tesla's full self-driving software, by contrast, is still in beta, still controversial, and still nowhere near regulatory approval in Europe. Volkswagen, despite a bumpy start with its ID lineup, has found its rhythm. Its EVs now dominate in key markets like Norway, the Netherlands, and even Germany itself. The company's software division has matured, and its new platforms are more efficient and easier to scale. More importantly, Volkswagen understands the European market in a way Tesla never did, from vehicle size and styling to service expectations and pricing psychology. And then there's the wild card, BYD. The Chinese electric vehicle giant is entering Europe with serious momentum. Its EVs are affordable, well-built, and packed with features. BYD manufactures its own batteries, cutting costs and improving margins. In countries like Norway and the United Kingdom, BYD's expansion has been aggressive and successful. German consumers, once loyal to Tesla, are now looking east. Hyundai and Renault are also making major moves. Hyundai's Ioniq series and Kia's EV line offer superior interiors, longer ranges, and futuristic aesthetics. Renault, with its new electric Megane, has delivered a compact EV that's both stylish and competitively priced. These companies aren't just participating, they're pushing the boundaries. Tesla once had a monopoly on electric vehicle innovation, but now it's surrounded by companies that have caught up and, in many cases, moved ahead. The pace of change in the European auto industry is accelerating, and Tesla is falling behind. What was once the disruptor is now the disrupted. And as Europe's EV war intensifies, the pressure on Tesla will only grow. But if Germany and Europe are becoming battlegrounds, what's happening across the globe? Tesla's vanishing China dream. Germany may be the front line of Tesla's European collapse, but the real battlefield, and perhaps the bigger disaster, is unfolding in China. Once Tesla's most promising international market, China has now become a strategic quagmire. The very place Elon Musk once hailed as Tesla's second home is now slipping away, fast. In recent years, Chinese automakers have gone from underdogs to unstoppable. BYD, in particular, has completely reshaped the landscape. Not only has BYD overtaken Tesla as the world's top-selling electric vehicle brand, but it has also done so while expanding rapidly within China's borders and across the globe. Tesla's market share in China isn't just shrinking, it's imploding. In the first quarter of 2025 alone, Tesla's sales dropped by over 40% in China, while BYD saw double-digit growth. The reason? Nationalism, geopolitical tensions, and the rise of a powerful buy local movement among Chinese consumers. For years, Tesla rode the wave of foreign novelty and tech prestige, but that advantage has worn off. Today, being a foreign brand in China is no longer an asset, it's a liability, especially when the government is openly backing domestic players, offering subsidies, policy support, and media promotion to companies like NIO, XPENG, and of course BYD. At the same time, regulatory pressure on Tesla is mounting. Local authorities have tightened scrutiny on Tesla's data storage policies, requiring all Chinese vehicle data to remain within the country. State-run media outlets have been increasingly critical of Tesla's safety practices and its customer service response. Even minor vehicle incidents involving Teslas now receive disproportionate attention on Chinese social platforms. Elon Musk's once cozy relationship with Beijing has cooled significantly. His recent alignment with controversial Western political figures hasn't helped either. In a country where political neutrality in business is expected, Musk's loud, polarizing personality is beginning to wear thin. Tesla built its China strategy on a bold bet that it could be both a tech icon and a local favorite. But that vision has collapsed. Tesla is no longer the foreign darling, it's the foreign intruder. And as the Chinese EV market continues to grow without it, the writing is on the wall. Tesla's China dream is vanishing. And with China and Germany slipping away, Tesla must surely be finding refuge in its home market, right? Not exactly. America isn't a safe haven. You'd think Tesla would be safe at home. That in the country where it began, with legions of loyal fans and a culture steeped in innovation, the company would still be untouchable. But that assumption is fading fast. Even in the United States, Tesla is no longer the consensus pick for the future of driving. Its once dominant reputation is fracturing, and fast. The first and most obvious shift is political. Tesla used to be beloved by tech enthusiasts, environmentalists, and progressive thinkers. It represented the intersection of innovation and sustainability, a Silicon Valley miracle that aimed to save the planet. But that image is gone. Elon Musk's public support for far-right figures, inflammatory posts on social media, and alignment with Donald Trump have driven a wedge between Tesla and its original liberal base. Buyers who once saw Tesla as a moral and environmental choice are now turning away. The disillusionment isn't just anecdotal, it's visible in the data. According to recent consumer sentiment surveys, Tesla's brand favorability among left-leaning voters has dropped by more than 50% in the past 2 years. Many former supporters are now openly criticizing the company, not for what it builds, but for what it represents. Meanwhile, on the right, the enthusiasm is mixed at best. While figures like Sean Hannity and other conservative influencers have publicly embraced Tesla in recent months, the broader conservative base remains skeptical of electric vehicles in general. For decades, the Republican narrative has painted EVs as impractical, subsidized, and elitist. Tesla's recent pivot to embrace that demographic may help with media coverage, but it does little to move actual vehicle sales. And then there's the affordability problem. Rising interest rates, shrinking federal incentives, and increasing insurance costs have made Tesla's vehicles harder to justify for the average American buyer. The frequent price cuts meant to keep demand alive are now creating uncertainty, with many consumers delaying purchases in anticipation of further discounts. Tesla is stuck in a dangerous limbo. Its original base is abandoning it, its new supporters are tepid at best, and its pricing strategy is undermining its brand value. In short, the American market is no longer a reliable fallback. It's becoming a mirror of Tesla's larger identity crisis. But even with all this chaos, there's still one final painful truth Tesla must confront. This wasn't inevitable, it was preventable. The cliff Tesla didn't see coming. Tesla didn't fall because electric vehicles failed. It didn't fall because of a lack of demand, or a market downturn, or a global recession. It fell because it stopped evolving, because it overestimated its invincibility, and because it underestimated the power of trust. Strategically, Tesla made fatal errors. The affordable Model 2, the key to reaching mass market dominance, was delayed endlessly. The Cybertruck, hyped for nearly half a decade, arrived years late with questionable appeal outside of niche buyers. The Model 3 and Model Y grew stale, untouched by serious updates while competitors surged forward with bold new designs. Internally, Tesla's innovation pipeline dried up. The company that once dazzled with over-the-air updates and battery breakthroughs became stuck in the past, reliant on a few aging models and fading hype. While BYD, Mercedes, Hyundai, and others expanded rapidly, Tesla seemed paralyzed, too busy defending its past to build its future. But the deeper loss was psychological. Trust, once Tesla's greatest asset, has evaporated. Consumers no longer believe the promises. Investors no longer buy the vision. Employees are demoralized, executives are cashing out, and the man at the top appears more interested in Twitter spats than product roadmaps. This isn't just a German problem, or a Chinese problem, or an American problem. It's a global pattern. The world is turning, tastes are shifting, and Tesla, once the leader of that shift, is now struggling to keep pace. The question now is painfully simple. Can Tesla regain trust? Can it reinvent itself, reconnect with consumers, and once again lead the global EV conversation? Or is this the beginning of the end? Let us know your thoughts in the comment below.